Hello, spooky crew. Our tote bag drawing is officially closed, and we just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who entered. We are so grateful for the love and the support, and we have loved reading your reviews. Missed the tote? No worries. We're still sending out high-quality vinyl stickers while supplies last. Just email us proof of your rating and review along with your mailing address to thespookydarlings@gmail.com, and we'll get one headed your way. Quick promise, your address is only for mailing the sticker. No emails, no selling info, no funny business, just spooky gratitude. Thanks again for supporting the show. You are the reason we do this.
You're listening to The Spooky Darlings, where three sisters circle back. I'm Haley.
I'm Nettie.
I'm Emily.
And
this is our follow-up Friday.
It's our follow-up Friday. Who's starting us?
This is our first follow-up Friday of 2026, which we're excited about. We had that little break when we brought one back in December, which was kind of fun, our little Santa-themed follow-up Friday.
Mm-hmm. That was fun. I enjoyed it. I just had such a nice Christmas break. Once Christmas hit and was over, it was just like one of the most relaxing few days. It feels like everything was just going so fast, and there was so much going on up until Christmas, and then I just felt like I could breathe. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, okay, I'm ready for new commitments and engagements. Okay, I have a quick correction from our Idaho Cryptids episode. It's not even a correction so much as like an add-on or clarification, maybe clarification. So I did the Pumwa, which was the Nez Perce legend of the daughter of Coyote, from the Idaho Cryptid episode, and I supposed in the episode that Pumwa was maybe the same root word as puma, which is another word for cougar. And, Emily, you had said, don't cougar and puma mean the same thing? And yes, they do. I actually double checked. Cougar and puma are the exact same creature. But the word puma does not come from Nez Perce or any really North American tribe. Puma is actually from Quechuan, from Brazil, from the Quechuan people of Brazil. Ooh. And cougar is also from a South American Indian word, the Kuguacuarana. And the Nez Perce word for cougar is like Koyama. I don't know how to pronounce it because the apostrophes are a glottal. And so I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's like Koyama, but with some glottals in there.
Okay.
And so anyways, just wanted to clarify that. So Pumwa must just on its own mean something that has no relation to puma.
So sounds similar, but it's an accidental connection, no root word connection.
Yeah. And then I just had kind of a fun deep dive into the Nez Perce language and found recordings of like some tribal elders speaking it. It was really beautiful and really interesting. And because I was trying to figure out how to say the glottal so I could pronounce it right, but I could not figure it out from that. So anyway.
We all do the best we can with what we've got.
We do. And yes.
Speaking of which, I did want to also offer a little correction in the episode, the Bad Santa and the Cisco Bandits. Somehow, and I knew when I said it that it was not correct, but when I was trying to describe that little single-seater car that they were caught, the last car that the bandits were trying to get away on, I said...
Piled on it, yeah.
They were all piled on it. I said some sort of tricycle, bicycle. And I don't even know why I said that. I knew it didn't have pedals. I knew it wasn't a tricycle, bicycle. I just got kind of discombobulated. And I said the wrong thing. It literally looks just like if I needed to describe it with all the knowledge I have now, it looks just like a Pinewood Derby car. And if you want to look at our social media, you can see like an example of exactly what that kind of car looked like. But it was not any Emily, kind of bicycle or tricycle.
We all sometimes panic last minute and say crazy things.
Yes, and that's exactly what I did. You guys were you were offering lots of words to me that I just...
That picture, you did put a picture of the car, but it's on the socials from that episode.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. We did. All right. Also, we did our Candy Cane Park episode mid-December, and we've received a little bit of communication about that. That one was really exciting because it was our local murder that still is talked about and unsolved, and a lot of people just really want closure for that. And I got a very nice email, and I got permission to use this person's story. And this is from Tanya Murphy. And she first wrote us, linking us an article, and we had kind of like a brief little back and forth. And then she sent us this. She said, "Cool, it was amazing. They almost have it solved. What I heard," and this is about Dana, about her, is that she was a bartender, like in this story, and coming home from work. I first heard about it when I was at the hospital doing my externship and one of the guys I worked with was a college student at EOU. Tanya was a high school student, from what I understand. She worked with a college student. And at the time, he was older than me, but he lived in apartments, and he said they had been up partying, and when they looked out their window, they could see something flopping around outside in the middle of the park. I don't remember if he reported it or what, but it was a very interesting story. My mom remembers a little bit more about the guy who was initially accused, but I guess something went wrong with the investigation, so nobody ever went to jail for it or something. I love listening to it. It's interesting, the different things that people have heard. Thank you. So what an interesting thing that there might have been other witnesses that, like college students partying, that maybe just didn't want to come forward, which you can understand.
Or didn't connect the dots at the time even.
Didn't connect the dots, or just for some reason or other, maybe they did come forward and it just wasn't important enough to put it in the reports, or it was something that police decided to hold back on, which we know happens a lot, where detectives will have information, but they just don't release it to the public. So I'd be curious to know more, but I really appreciated Tanya sharing that bit with us. And I think that all of us have interacted with people or have like heard from people who had interactions with either Bart Cochran or with somehow like relations to the case. And it's been kind of interesting to hear some of those. And
yeah. And you know what I can say? Like I've had a couple of people say to me that they kind of like grew up knowing, or like, not knowing is the wrong word, but they grew up under the impression that that Bart Cochran actually did it, and that he was not after Dana Dumars. He killed the wrong person, and that he kind of got off on a technicality because the police handled the investigation kind of in a crazy way.
I mean, that is what I grew up hearing. That is what I grew up hearing. So.
Yeah. All of the extra stuff was especially interesting that you told us in the episode. And if listeners, if you haven't listened to it, my sister Nettie here, she does such a wonderful job covering the Candy Cane Park murder. And so just all of that extra information, if you want to hear it, go and listen.
Thank you. Yeah. And I mean, it's something that I've, even since doing the episode and doing all of that research, I've just been reflecting on. And I mean, the reality is, it is possible it was Bart. There was plenty of evidence. Like, you can understand why the cops zeroed in on him. But I do find it so interesting that the new detective, where he said, you know, I don't remember exactly, but like 15,000 pages of evidence, that he believes it was, that he has an idea of who it is. He thinks it's one of two people, and neither of them are Bart Cochran. And that's from combing through everything. Like combing through all of the files. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I really do hope that we find out more about that.
Yeah, I hope it gets solved. I really do.
Yeah.
And you know, if Bart Cochran, if it wasn't him, what a life to live, like living in a community where everyone thinks you got away with murder. Like that would be hard.
Yeah. That for sure would be tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so a friend sent me this funny article on Instagram, and it said that the former Green Power Ranger actor named Yasutomo Ihara used the training that he learned during filming to rob 43 houses in Japan, and that he was in prison for 5 years, which I was like, oh my gosh, what? So I was like trying so hard to find information on that. So I was searching like Green Power Ranger arrested. Like, I was trying so hard to find it. I only found one article, and it was from a Japanese news outlet called Kotaku.com. So I don't know if that actually happened or not, or if it was one of those like made up clickbait things on Instagram about that Green Power Ranger. But I did find a few articles about a different actor, because, you know, there were several Power Ranger sets of actors.
Right.
One of the actors that played the Green Power Ranger was arrested in 2024 in Idaho over a parking dispute, and he was accused of assaulting a man who uses a walker
Oh, no.
over a parking spot in Nampa, Idaho.
Really?
So that was pretty
Wow.
fascinating. But then again, and I was just like, this was all over the course of the last
I don't
week.
know if I'm more blown away that that one of the Power Ranger actors assaulted a man with a walker, or that one of the Power Ranger actors is from Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, who knows where he's from, but that's where
The assault took
where
place.
he was accused of assault. But then today, and this is like, I could not believe that I had a third Power Ranger news article come across my feed. And this one's
Wow.
amazing. A hacker dressed as the pink Power Ranger hacked and deleted a white supremacist dating site.
Oh,
And
yes,
Yes.
please. More of this.
yes, they did. And then she also leaked all of their details and created a site called okstupid.lol where you can look them up. You can look them up and read their posts,
Do we have a
profiles,
new hero?
Yes.
locations, etc. So I just felt like, I don't know how fate let me have 3 of these within a week, but that felt pretty amazing to me to have all this Power Ranger news. And like, yeah, that pink Power Ranger was the bow on top.
Yes, more
Yes.
more power to the pink Power Ranger.
Yes.
Yeah, the hero we all need, right?
Yes.
My
Yes, we need
goodness,
her.
that is the kind, that is true Robin Hood. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, that's the kind of criminal we can all get behind.
Yes.
Exactly.
Please, more dismantling.
Like,
of
not
white
only am I
supremacy.
shutting your social circle down, but I am also going to leak all of your information because you suck.
And then make a website. You said it was called OK Stupid.
.lol.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, pretty perfect.
Oh.
So
Well.
thank you to the internet for bringing that to my eyes this
Hooray.
week. That was pretty wonderful.
Well, okay. One other thing. Tennessee just started a law called Savannah's Law. Did you guys see this in the news?
That sounds familiar.
So it is the first state to start a database of domestic abusers. So there are like,
Yes.
databases of criminals and databases of, certain criminal activity that we keep on like a state level and a national level. But Tennessee, they call it Savannah's Law because there was a cop named Savannah. I don't remember her last name, named Savannah, who was killed by her partner, and they found that her partner had had a history of domestic abuse. And it was one of those things where if Savannah had been aware, she would have maybe not been in the situation of of dating a domestic abuser. So Tennessee
Or
starting this law.
honestly, maybe if the police knew that there was a history of domestic abuse, they could have taken like any
Swifter
calls more
action.
seriously. Yes, exactly.
I just was so proud of Tennessee. I think it's amazing. I'm a little surprised that we haven't had that in place before. And so I hope that other states will follow suit. And I just thought that was, it's really tragic that Savannah lost her life, but really wonderful that this law has come out of it. And apparently it's getting a ton of support from law enforcement. Like they are all about it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
And then, I mean, I don't want to talk about things that are really terrible, but did you guys see the news about that fire in Crans, Montana? Crans, Montana, does that sound right? It was a fire in Switzerland at a ski resort. And I mostly just wanted to talk about it because what they think happened is this phenomena in fires that's called a flashover, where very quickly a room reaches a temperature where everything just ignites. And they think that that's what happened at that nightclub fire, like, 4 or 5 years ago in, I think it was in Florida somewhere, where there was like 100 people died. I believe in this fire at this resort that just happened over Christmas break. It was more than 40 people died, more than 100 injured. And it was just this bar full of people. The bar was on many levels, and down in the basement of the bar, they had like wood ceilings, and there was a waiter that was walking through with champagne that had sparklers in it to celebrate a birthday. And then as the waiter was passing by people, they raised the champagne bottles up to like walk by people so the sparklers wouldn't touch them. It hit the ceiling, and literally it was just like, boom. the ceiling was on fire. It spread down. It caught on fire so quickly that it was almost like no escape. And so I guess the reason I want to talk about it is if you can, when you're in places like that and you see like people that have open flames, it is so important to just be aware of where your exits are and just have that in the back of your mind, and tell anyone you know that goes to bars and goes to places like that, just to always have that. I mean, I don't want to make people paranoid, but to be aware of your exits, I just think is super important.
Yeah.
You know what? My husband does the same thing on every time we're on a flight. He has all of us count how many seats forward or backward it would be to any exit.
Wow.
Because so often if there's any emergency on a plane, your visibility is nothing. Like there's smoke in the cabin and you can't see where the emergency exits are, even though they're lit. So knowing how many rows so you can feel your way.
that wouldn't even occur to me that would be like the visibility would be an issue. It's really smart.
It's, I mean, yeah, they do have the lighting in place to help, but it apparently is something to consider, just being aware of how to count by feeling seats, how to get to whichever exit is your best bet, knowing both ways. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, like little ways to amplify our anxieties and
intrusive thoughts.
But how I feel about it, it's like I hear about things like this, and yes, it gives me anxiety. But then I'm like, I want my kids to know this because then I feel like I'll be able to relax a little bit, knowing that they're prepared. And there's often, times where there's just nothing you can do. But it's like to be aware, or to even be like, hey, that person's putting that flame awfully close to that ceiling. Be aware. And the other thing that surprised me was they said it happens a lot in places that have like a synthetic material that I wouldn't think would be flammable that is super flammable. Like I can't even remember what it was, but like some kind of plastic of sorts that I was like, whoa, that's something where I was like really surprised that would be something that would catch fire in a flashover.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So Google, do a little search on it, flashover. It's really interesting, really like how quickly it can take control. Because I think in my mind, I'm always like, well, if a fire starts, it's going to slowly ignite over there. And then I'll have to, but these things happen so fast that they said that when a flashover happens, that even a fireman in full gear would not survive because the air gets so hot that you cannot breathe it without burning your lungs. Like your lungs will disintegrate from the heat of the air.
Oh, crazy.
That's how quickly it happens and how hot it gets. So,
wow.
I mean, I think about working at Piper Down, and like we served flaming shots, and the booths were wooden, the tables were wooden, the floor was wooden, the beams were wooden.
But sometimes it's not even wooden material that will catch, which is which surprises me. But one really cool thing about that story, though, is that like I guess one of the doors, it was like people were putting so much pressure on the door that it was like shut from the opposite way, so they couldn't get out. Some teenager muscled the door off the hinges and ended up saving, like some teenage kid just like got superhuman strength all of a sudden, literally ripped the door off the hinges and saved a bunch of people. So yes, let's keep that kid around, please.
Whoever you are, thank you.
And I mean, my heart just goes out to 40, I think it was 40, might have even been more, 40 deaths, 100 severe injuries, like severe burns. So
wow, that's so tragic. And all at Christmas. What a terrible tragedy.
it is. But yeah, good job to the teen that helped save people. And yeah.
I mean, just sometimes it's just one thing where it's like, this is no problem. And then it's, oops, there's a problem. It's more than an oops, but you guys know what I mean.
Well, you just don't know. I think it's that the unknown. Like we have protocols for safety. We have everyone has to have fire alarms and fire exits and things like that. But I think like Jordan's idea of counting the seats, because I don't think no one ever thinks of that, like visibility. Like the flight attendant's not there going, now count the seats up to your exit, because if we crash, this place will be full of smoke and you won't be able to see.
A lot of people don't know on airplanes the most dangerous time is during takeoff.
I did know that. That's why I always
Because I whispered that to you one time when we were flying, I think, to see Emily.
So nice. She's like,
Yeah.
this is the most dangerous.
Just reminding you, this is the most dangerous time. Also, landing can be quite dangerous.
It's
if
the
you
second
will
most
recall,
dangerous.
When somebody's bag fell out of the overhead bin onto my head. Do you remember
my
this?
Yes,
goodness.
of course we remember.
do
I was
remember.
so shaken by that. That was
Of course
awful.
you were. And like you had a goose egg and your neck was all.
And we were dressed like triplets.
Uh-huh.
So we drew even more attention to ourselves.
I was so embarrassed, but also in so much pain and so just like stressed by that.
And what I found so funny was there was a woman sitting next to you with me and Nettie like hovering around you, and she just didn't move.
No,
She didn't acknowledge us and she didn't move.
That was so weird.
It
like
was
you're
super
obviously
weird.
getting medically checked out and in a medical crisis, and this woman's
No.
like, I shall not budge.
Yeah.
you guys, no, that the most mortifying moment for me of that was when I had talked to somebody at the desk and they were like, okay, let's sit you down and have somebody come and check you out. Cause I like kind of came off the plane and like lost it. Cause I was like, my head hurts.
Yeah.
Like this, I think I need to be checked out. So they took me over and they asked somebody to move. And the guy was sitting there and he was like, they were like, excuse me, sir, we need this seat. We need you to move. And he was like, oh, okay. And he gets up and feels around for his stuff and puts it on and then unsnaps his cane and walks away
about this.
You were like,
with, I mean,
of all the people,
to have to ask
was a
to
blind
vacate the seat.
And that's so not your fault.
I even grabbed the lady that asked him to move. I like touched her arm and I was like, oh my gosh, please don't ask that guy to move. Like, please don't. And she was like, we need his seat for the medical personnel to come check you. And I just was dying. Like, I felt so mortified.
Oh my gosh,
You know
I would
that
have
it-
felt the exact same way.
The guy was so nice. And he even like put his face in my direction. I can't even say he looked my way, like kind of
Yes.
like nodded
He was
towards me and was like, I
acknowledging
hope
you.
you're okay. He was so nice, but I just felt like,
I know. Like,
Can we choose any other seat?
that was just,
But you know that if he could say anything, he would say, oh, I was happy to move. Like, obviously someone needs to be checked out. Like, he would.
sure, of course. He was so nice about it. I didn't feel like but it just made me feel like
Yeah.
And then that
I
other
was
woman,
already feeling so embarrassed. But what? Hey,
the other woman just planted herself and was not going to be moving.
We don't know, though.
with your,
Maybe she had a planting disorder where she has to stay put.
I when she finally got up and walked away like 20 to 30 minutes later, it was just kind of like, what took you so long?
She kept side-eyeing us and we were all wearing matching plaid shirts. And I was like, why did I agree to this?
We looked so cute.
matching shirt wearing. This is so mortifying.
It would have been
I thought it was the best.
way more adorable if we weren't dealing with an injury, but I totally get it. We were cute.
We were so cute, and it was just so sad that our trip started that way.
But it was a great trip all in all.
What a great trip. Yes, it was so lovely. Any sister trip is the best. So,
Yeah.
okay. And we did want to give a little shout out to another little podcast that we came across. It's called The Paranormal Divide. We listened to their episode on Jeff, the Talking Mongoose, which if you are not familiar with that story, go give it a listen. It's
a hoot.
an
fun.
insane story and it is not what you expect. So anyway, we just wanted to give them a little shout out and thank them for listening and, just let you know, like that's another fun one you can check out if you like.
I can't wait to listen to more episodes because I really did enjoy that one.
Agreed.
Yes. All right, Nettie, you want to close us out?
Yes, I do. Once again, we are the Spooky Darlings. If you have any questions, comments, corrections, stories of your own, or just want to tell us anything, just email us at thespookydarlings@gmail.com. And for pictures to go along with each of our episodes, you can find us on our socials at The Spooky Darlings Podcast. You can find merch at thespookydarlings.printful.me. And just a note, we will be ending our sticker promo coming up. So if you have not written your review yet and entered our promo for free swag, do so soon because we're going to be closing that up probably end of January, I'm assuming.
I think that's
We
what we
decided.
agreed on.
Yeah, end of January, I think. So thank you for those that have written us reviews and have entered the promo. It's been fun to mail out stickers to our listeners. So thanks for listening. Anyone else? Anything to add? That's it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
5 stars.
Before we disappear into the shadows, don't forget, we're still sending out vinyl stickers. Leave us a rating and review and email us proof to thespookydarlings@gmail.com, along with your mailing address, and we'll send you some spooky snail mail while supplies last. And if your heart is still mourning that tote bag, may we gently tempt your way toward our merch store at thespookydarlings.printful.me. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Thanks for listening. And as always, stay spooky.